it's Michael J, and I am here in my costume shop where I teach theater at Christian Brothers High School, and I spend a lot of time up here because one of the many hats I wear is costume designer. I also am scenic painter and props master, as well as the director of the productions. And I have my collaborator and technical director, Heather Christensen, who organizes the set design, the set build, the lighting design, the lighting hang, and all kinds of other sounds, all kinds of other technical things that we do. And together we make a theater company that would normally be probably 10 people on the staff, and the 10 people are the two of us. But here's my lair. I'm usually up here sewing something, ironing something, working on a costume somehow. I also do some of that work from home because it's just more comfortable, but in between classes and things going on the campus, I'm up here. And my task right now during the pandemic is to kind of get this reorganized, get rid of some stuff that maybe we aren't going to ever use, kind of clean up and get it ready for when we're back in business again. However, we are doing a virtual production of a play called The 20th Century, which is a screwball comedy from the 30s. There's a wonderful film version of it with John Barrymore. And so we're going to be doing a virtual version of that production, which we were going to do live on stage a year ago. But we just postponed it hoping things would get better, and they're just not getting better enough to do a production on stage. So we're going to tear down our set, but we're going to use the costumes as we can. Now, some of the kids graduated high school and they're not going to be in it, and we're going to recast. So some of the things that I love, like this, is the gray gown is sparkly, and it was going to look really great on stage. This actress is no longer with us. She's off at college, and she had this champagne pajama to wear at one point. She had this nice 30s dress with this thing that ties here to wear at one point. She had this wonderful, and this sort of emulates what the character wears in the movie, this wonderful fuzzy top with this skirt in the 30s length. Anyway, I was really looking forward to seeing all this come to life on stage. It's not going to be useful anymore because I can't think of anybody exactly her body type that might take over the part. So I'm going to have to redo that stuff. But also, I had found this wonderful little suit with this bright blue, and it's got a vest and window pane. I had to let it out a little bit, but it fit a freshman boy who was playing this character, and now he's a sophomore and he's grown, and this isn't going to fit. So I have to do something else for that. So that's the kind of thing I'm working on in real time, and otherwise I'm cleaning up the place. But I thought, for fun, I would show you some of the pieces that I have that I really love up here. We also keep props up here, so we've got all kinds of different luggage and weird hand props and unusual things that are hard to find. If I find an unusual thing that would work in a play, sometimes I get it even if I don't have a play right now that I'm working on, because you don't come across everything, especially like old hats and stuff. I just thought it'd be fun to show you some of the fun things that we've got here. But I also don't have that much space, so I have to keep weeding stuff out. Anything that's been sitting there a long time that never gets used, I have to go, really? I guess this is going to go, because I have to make space as I collect things. So I'm really curating a useful group of clothes that will work for things or are hard to come by when you need them, but that are useful. So let's take a look at some stuff. Okay, so I've got hoop skirts and assorted props over here. This is all men's colored shirts and sweater vests and suits, blazers, and dress pants over here. You always need white dress shirts. I have a whole bunch there. And this stuff here I have to deal with. It's some military things that were donated, and they all could be useful, but they're taking up a lot of space. Some other jackets. Down this aisle is my oddities aisle. I have various kinds and eras of military. And then over here we have sort of peasant attire, blousey shirts, Shakespearean stuff, Fiddler on the Roof kind of stuff, because there was a big production of Fiddler on the Roof. We have a bunch of hats up here, variety of fedoras and police things. Up here I have the crazy hats, real odd ones. And then over here is odd cloaks, uniforms, weird pajamas, just the weird assortment of stuff that's not a collection of any kind. Oh, this piece, though, okay, there it is. It's got this huge fur collar that sort of stands up and almost frames her head, and it's got this wonderful little pattern on it that has threads that catch the light so it glimmered. It has this fur lining, and then it's pink on the inside, so you get this flash of pink. And then she had a rented white fringed 1920s gown that she wore under that, and also there's a matching headpiece of the kind that was typical of the 20s. It's very much like the piece you see in the movie, and it has a pink lining. I really wanted that thing from the movie, and of course the only way to get it is to look at it, see how it was built, and build it. So I did. And then it has this lovely little sparkly brooch that holds it together, but not really, it's really Velcro that's holding it together. So I made that piece. I love that piece. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it now, but if anybody wants to do Singing in the Rain, I've got it, and I can lend it to you. Oh, I clearly have to deal with this shoe situation. It's a mess. Can get rid of some of that stuff. I have, this little section of these red dresses, there's 13 of them. These are the Paris original dresses from How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. And that number, everybody comes out in the same dress. So of all these different sizes of this little cute 1961 type of cocktail dress. This is my area where I have gowns, evening wear of different kinds. There's a variety of eras. I've got some 40s things. I have a whole collection of these blue sparkly things which were used in Singing in the Rain for the Beautiful Girl number. This piece I love, and it's got flowers all over it, or the look of roses sewn all over it, and I have not used it yet. I just collected it from a costume shop sale because it was so kind of spectacular looking, and I was hoping I could use it in the musical Call Me Madam, but who knows if it's going to fit the girl, you know, who plays it. But I have tons of flapper wear, all of which was all fringed and different colors because of Singing in the Rain. This was all in the Broadway ballet. This is my plant department, all kinds of fake plants and flowers and things. Okay, this is women's things, little suits, skirts, rehearsal skirts, and over here is my collection of furs and jackets, and I've got some wonderful 60s things that I'm going to show you. This is a great woman's overcoat from the 60s. And it's just got such a wonderful bright color to it. I didn't have a purpose for it, but I knew that a musical would come along where maybe that would be handy. And I'm also thinking of doing The Merry Wives of Windsor and setting it in a early 60s sitcom, and maybe this will end up in that. I'm not sure. I mean, that's developing in my head. Okay, this is a little 60s Chanel suit. So here's another wonderful piece that might work in my 1960s production of Merry Wives of Windsor, but it's also so very specifically a iconic piece that I had to have it, and I got this at an estate sale, and somebody said, there's an estate sale, go over and look for any costumes that might work. People are always telling me about things like this, so I can go look, and I found this piece, and it was $20 is what I got it for. So I think that I will find a place for it at some point. This is an interesting 50s piece. It doesn't look good hanging up like this, but it's also weird. It's made out of this, like, it's almost like a crunchy fabric. It's kind of a 50s Christian Dior style new style from 1947. Has the full skirt, and but this was donated, and it's a great sort of period piece, and maybe there's going to be some sort of a musical along the way where that's useful. I haven't found use for it yet, but it says specifically the period that I have to keep it. Because I've done 2 shows in the 20s, 3 actually, Animal Crackers, Singing in the Rain, and The Royal Family, I have all of these ladies' 20s hats. I've got straw boaters, and I've got really interesting versions of the cloche hat. These are ushers' uniform hats. So this little suit is a 20s garment that I built, and it was for a very petite girl, and I always have petite girls involved. I've used it twice, so it has this little detail on the cuff and at the bottom and then it runs long over the hips, and then this is just a sack dress, and it's a floppy sort of fabric, so it moves nicely. And I originally planned it with this hat, a cloche hat with a big matching flower on the side to tie it in, and that's how I used it in The Royal Family. But in Singing in the Rain, I used a different hat, and this is a real hat from the 20s that I got in an antique store, and so that's the hat that it comes with, or it could go with it, and it's got a great detail on it. I couldn't resist it. It actually wasn't too, I don't remember the price anymore, it wasn't too badly priced, but it was just so great, and I knew I had Singing in the Rain coming up, so I got it. A lot of the 20s day wear for women that I used to get was from a costume shop called Decades, and I'd rent it. They've gone out of business and liquidated, so I don't have that resource anymore, unfortunately. Here I have all kinds of specialized jewelry. Gotta have jewelry. This is the collection of hats being used in the 20th century. We've got our Conductor kind of hat here, and a bunch of fedoras. This wonderful thing here is for the movie star when she arrives. This is for the Conductor, this costume, and I just took a black suit. It's got a vest and you can have his watch in there. I added this braid here and changed all the buttons to be brass, so he would have the proper look, and that was going to look really nice. So I guess we could see that from the waist up that much, and it will look good. Here's my dress form that I use to work on things, but also we keep the props up here. There's all kinds of crazy things. Lots of different kinds of dishes and stuff over here. Trays. I have different kinds of typewriters. Different kinds of phones. I just got this candlestick phone, well, a year ago now. I haven't had to use it yet. But we had a show where I needed that kind of phone and I had to rent it. And then I found this one and thought, yes, getting it. So, hiding behind this rack of costumes, we've got, there's ray guns, all these weapons, tennis rackets, a grinding thing. I don't know. I inherited that. That was here from some old production long ago. There's a bunch of stack of purses up there, little lamps. Anyway, we have all kinds of stuff. There's like women's jewelry right there, shawls, scarves, so men's accessories. Good. I've used that metal bucket in like 4 productions. So, yeah. So that's a little tour of my space. Now I guess I'm going to get to work and clean up this place because it's looking a little disheveled. Thanks for watching. Bye.